So why is it that you believe that you're not getting enough protein? Did you get a diagnosis from a doctor? Or are you just looking around at everyone else and what everyone else is saying and judging based on what people are saying is the best diet for humans or the best diet for building muscle, that's what you should follow? I'm going to help us get this straight once and for all and help you to feel empowered in choosing the perfect diet for you, whether that's high protein or low protein. So stay tuned. Thank you for joining me today. This is another important video that I think will be very eye-opening and enlightening for you health seekers. If you are new to Raw Vegan Food Diet's channel, please subscribe if you like hearing content about how to either reach or maintain your optimal health. Please also share, comment, and like this video if you find it very helpful. Now, I know that you already know that these things like protein, carbs, and fats are things that are suggested to us either from our parents, from growing up in school and seeing food pyramids, or through just seeing governmental suggestions about what is healthy and what is not healthy. Very strong suggestions on how you should be and how you should eat. So I'm definitely not making this video so you can feel that you have to go against whatever your doctor's orders are, or recommendations for your body type and whatever type of amino acid or protein minimum daily intake that you think you need to have. I'll leave that for you to decide. I'll just discuss some things as far as experience-wise that I noticed, and also I will inspire you to use your own common sense as far as your own experience, and hopefully inspire you to go against any fear mongering specifically that may go through your head when it finally comes to actually pulling the trigger and doing a diet that is against any of these things, as far as against you making your own choice for your own health and for your own life. I guess I'll start with a lower protein diet. Now, I believe all fruits and definitely vegetables have protein in them, but mostly fruits don't really have a higher limit than maybe 10 or less than 10%, just giving a quick little guesstimate. So I've done a mostly fruit diet before, but when I'm doing that, I haven't really done a lot of I would say weightlifting activities or muscle building activities per se. I've done a lot of walking and stretching and maybe trampoline and maybe some jump ropes, so more like aerobic things. But I do notice that if it is like a juice fast, and it's mostly fruit juices, or green juices as well, veggie juices, I noticed that at least initially, it does seem like I'm losing muscle. Now, I haven't went to a sports doctor or anything like that to measure my muscle mass against my body weight, my body fat, but I could kind of see it on my own, right? And during detoxing, it's kind of a time where sometimes you have high energy and sometimes you have very low lows, especially if your body is attacking or trying to let go of a certain type of illness, blockages, or things like that. So your body is working on itself, and you can dip very, very low. And at some times you can go through autophagy. So if you are doing an intermittent fasting type of thing, you might see some things getting eaten up. Those things, I wouldn't say it's muscle, but if you're not, it's kind of like a move it or lose it. If you're not really working it for a long period of time, and I would say that's like maybe over 5 days, sometimes even over 30. It's really hard to diagnose just one person, but because it depends on what you're drinking, and also how active you are or not, and how active you were. Because I've gone through many stints of time where I didn't go to the gym at all, and I don't appear or seem to lose any type of strength or any type of muscle. So, I've gotten to that point where I just have an overall muscular frame underneath. Any type of fat, flabby, or loose skin thing that happens, it's like temporary. It's like a temporary shift. So here's the reality of, should you do a higher protein diet or a lower protein diet? I really feel like you don't need, I'm not sure if this is the correct term, but like an overt protein type of consumption where you on purpose try to eat a whole lot of meat or try to do a whole lot of protein powders, whether that's non-vegan or vegan. I don't feel like that's necessary to have optimal health. Now, if you're talking about muscle synthesizing, as far as adding certain amino acids to build certain muscles, I really don't go into that field too much of spot training with nutrition, as far as, okay, I'm taking this because of my brain, or I'm taking this because of my foot. Yeah, there are some times where you feel like there's an emergency, and say you pop a painkiller, and you just want that to hit, your headache. So you'll take something that's for like severe headaches or migraine or something like that. And I don't do that anymore, but I understand it, even if it's a herbal or it's a food point of view, how some people will want to do that as an emergency. But to be honest, real change and real healing comes from a holistic approach. And it's not just diet, it's although the mindset as well. So when we just take, say, high protein powders every single day, and we don't do anything else to change our diet, let's say we're just still eating, steak mash and green peas every day, and we're just smashing in, let's just say, vegan protein shakes or vegan protein banana smoothies. That doesn't necessarily lead to feeling like your optimum health. And of course, I'm speaking from personal experience, and I know there are a lot of other plant-based dieters that can share their experience about that as well. Whether you are looking for a certain body image, or you're just trying to be stronger or feel stronger, I don't feel like real strength comes from protein, because I feel absolutely amazing on vegan foods and raw vegan foods, and I do not feel weak at all. But I know there's a lot of sayings and there's a lot of old programs going around about the more protein you have, also that equates to strength. Now, you can watch a documentary called The Game Changers, and I will link that for you below, and you can watch that for yourself and tell me if all of the vegan athletes now and back then, years ago, they talk about people eating plant-based mostly. I think it was the gladiators in Rome, and they actually had a lot of physical strength. So that myth goes right out of the window. Now, are we talking about now how your muscles will look? Now, I'm just as vain as the next person. I wouldn't even want to call it vain. How you look physically is important. It's important to feel good, I would say, about yourself. Maybe everyone is not the same, but I sure feel that way. And you feel like you have to have a certain type of image, maybe not to impress anyone, but again, for yourself, for you to feel good about the skin that you're in. Now, you may want to be buff, you may want to be cut. Do you need lots of protein? How much protein do you need? I actually feel like the high protein diet is an actual myth, whether it's a high vegan protein diet or if it's a high omnivore or carnivore diet. I do feel like it's a 50-50 thing. I feel like it's complete BS, 100%, right? But I feel it's a 50-50 where 50% is a placebo. So the other 50, of course, is true if it's a placebo, right? So we've been trained to believe through old programming that to eat a high protein diet means that you have bigger or cut muscles. I would just stick with bigger. I think a lot of people feel that if you eat a high protein diet, you will have bigger muscles. Now, because people believe this so strongly, it appears true. But I feel like times are changing. People's attitudes are changing. And truth is people are becoming enlightened with deeper truth. And that is one of the deeper truths, that when you keep thinking, keep focusing, keep believing on something, you manifest it. Again, I'm sure this is not for everyone, but for those who agree or know where I'm going with this, keep watching. It gets good, right? So every individual has the power to change his or her body however you see fit. But if you keep fostering and focusing on limited beliefs, or let's just say beliefs to the contrary, that you need something outside of yourself to actually get bulky, you need a specific food macro to get bulky, then you're like feeding the energy that will create on your behalf, but you're putting in, what is it called? Intercession, I think. You're putting something in the middle of your goal for it to happen. Now you don't have to do that. You can claim the body, the bulky body or the muscular body that you prefer. You can claim the fitness that you prefer without attaching it to food, specifically a high protein diet. Now, if you guys agree with what I'm talking about, or if you know what I'm talking about, hit the like button and also comment below right now and let me know, yeah, I'm listening to you. Yeah, that's true. I see that for myself. Because sometimes when you tell some people these things, they think that you're crazy. But what's crazy is that some people really still don't see that everything that is physical now was once programmed mentally or spiritually. So if you want to change that, if you don't want to be reliant on outside foods, outside sources, this particular protein, this particular amino acid or creatine or what have you, then you're going to have to work overtime as far as on the mind. Nothing strenuous, but you have to release old thoughts and you have to affirm something new. Something like, I have the body of my dreams. I love how fit I am, and it doesn't depend on food. We have to start moving food away from these specific type of conditions. Now, yeah, I could just talk about meat, and that's one way to go vegan, actually. It's just by affirming, I don't need meat. You have all the protein I need in a vegan diet. That's one level. But when you move to the raw vegan level, can you believe it? Can you do it? Sure you can. There are so many raw vegans. For one of the online mentors that I have, 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗪, as being a part of his Raw Vegan Heroes group, actually just look 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗪 up at Raw Vegan Rising and you can see his physical body. He's been a raw vegan dieter for several years and you can see that he has ample muscle. Now, some people's minds that's coming from a meat eater point of view would wonder, how is that even possible? Because we've been taught, again, that the vegan guy is the weak guy. The raw vegan guy is probably even the skinnier and the weaker guy of the three. So what do you want to be? Because you want to be bulky, and the media agrees, you want to be a meat eater, right? So the fact that I'm even telling you, go see for yourself the evidence. Raw vegan dieters come in all shapes and sizes, but there's usually like a generalization. People that think they know what you should be, how you should be eating, what you should look like, So that's like a general consensus with a lot of people. They think raw vegan dieters are either skin and bones, or if we have any muscle, yeah, we have personal strength to lift ourselves up, but start putting some plates on there and somehow like our bones just snap in half or something, which is not true. But this is what goes on in the mind. And that is why I spend so much time, I would hope, in every video at least, touching on this point that the mind is so much more powerful than what you can just do and just start eating and doing things raw vegan or whatever the case is and getting the products and stuff like that. Because if you don't address your mindset, it like steals your triumph, it steals your reward, it steals your joy, and you don't quite understand why you never reach the healing that you deserve. And that's because the mind is extremely powerful. Thank you for watching, and I hope that this talk has given you some insight. See you again.